The thing is, we don't talk about free speech unless there's a story that comes up with Julian Assange, or if there's a major, another flushing out of Facebook, or Facebook or Twitter, or whatever, when they decide to be the judge and jury of what people can or cannot talk about. Which is, here's the thing to talk about with that. This is really interesting, I think, because think about this: why would Facebook decide? This is a corporation, one of the biggest corporations, that is suddenly pissing everybody off by censoring them across the board. Are they doing this in the name of, political correctness because it's the right thing to do? Do all the board members believe that that's the case? Is this... What are they doing? What are they doing? Besides collecting our data and reselling it to the highest bidder. What are they really doing, though, here? They're not gaining any friends. They're not gaining any business. They're losing a lot of business, and they're at risk of a full-on exodus from the platform because what they're doing is absolutely immoral and enraging. So everybody's kind of scrambling to go, look, I want something where I'm not going to be told that I can't do this or that. I mean, it's so far beyond rules, laws, and regulations in the United States. It is so anal about every word, every subject, everything. I mean, I mentioned this earlier today. They banned gagging from from YouTube because it's a sexual fetish. I've talked about this before, but it's too good to not talk about again. But it's a good... Now, what's more perverse? The fact that they name it as a sexual fetish and point that out? Sorry. Or the actual fact that exists, them talking about it and telling people that that's the case? I'd rather hear somebody gag than hear somebody tell me that that's a sexual fetish, to be honest. There's poop fetishes too, and I'm sure that that's not legit to put poop on there, but, somebody could have a fetish with tables. You can't have tables on anymore because people get turned on by tables. You cannot ban everything, or else you have nothing. And if you get somewhere in between, then you have, selected certain people who you consider to be okay. And free speech was designed to protect those who are not popular, or those who have something to say that not everybody agrees with, and you might be pissed off at hearing, but most people I know of would rather have free speech and hear shit that they don't want to hear. In fact, every person that I know feels that way. They don't want to be silenced if they have something to say. And it's not like I run in big circles of people who are, constitutionalists. I don't run in big circles at all. But my point is, my finger on the pulse of the nation says, people don't want this censorship. Overwhelmingly, they're pissed off about it. So my point is, why would they do something like this, knowing full well it's going to lose them business, and it even risks, the belly up of the company? And it occurred to me when Trump started talking about how we need to have free speech maintained on social media. Now, Trump has he has a self thing, and if he says something that sounds altruistic or moralistic, I don't know of a situation where there wasn't an agenda attached. So when he kind of randomly talked about keeping free speech on the internet, He may have been catering to the conservatives that feel like they're being silenced, but they're not the only ones being silenced. He may feel like, excuse me a sec. He may have, I think that there's an agenda. That I think that what they're doing is problem, reaction, solution, which is the problem is censorship. But they're pushing the problem. They're making the problem because they're not fixing it, and they are making people pissed off. They're creating a problem. And it seems very irrational unless you realize that the problem is intended, because the reaction from the people will be, hey, stop them from doing this. We need this regulated. We want our free speech back. Okay, there's our reaction. Their solution, when they created this, their solution is going to be, oh, okay, well, we're going to have the government come in and regulate. And then the government will be in charge of the social media platforms. They will have, you know, I mean, it's already like that to some extent because all the big companies are, you know, tied in with the CIA. We consider every keystroke is on the government's radar, without a question. So what does it mean if they're controlling the social media platforms? They kind of already are, but it would be official. So they can also make their own rules and, you know, turn it into what we all fear that it could be. Just another prison, an online prison for the masses to spend their time in. Prison's not the right word, but knowing that you're monitored and the rules are set by the government that you pay, it's just nauseating. I'll try not to gag on camera. But think about that for a minute. Really, really let that sink in. Problem, reaction, solution. The problem, censorship. Our reaction, stop it. Their solution, regulation that they control. Everybody's happy. Everybody praises whoever does it. Could be Trump. I know he's been trying to poke his stick at that, so he might be saying something about that in order to try to get reelected. I don't know. I could see that happening. If he's got that wit about him or has the right advisors, it could happen. If he's even tied in with that, or I don't know if it's full on like hush hush CIA, NSA, nobody knows kind of stuff, or if it's, I feel like he was influenced to say something about it. I would bet money that he didn't say it out of like wanting to do the right thing. No, he's very calculated. And, you know, again, this is not against him, but this is how his personality is. He doesn't just do things out of the kindness of his heart. He has an agenda. And that's just who he is. That's just how he operates. So my saying that and putting it together with all this, I think it's a fair estimation of what might be going on. Granted, I don't have much in the way of evidence besides that. So this is a theory. And I don't do theories often, but I said, if I do theory, this is a theory. But it's something to think about. I'd love to hear if somebody has another theory, or if you think I'm right or wrong on that. I'd love to hear input on that. So please do subscribe, like. I'm not going to do it, man. If you want to do it, do it. I'm not going to become the YouTube puppet. Subscribe, like, blah, blah, blah. Fuck it. Enjoy it or don't. What we started out.